Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Mornings with Mando. I appreciate all 5 of you that tune into this show. It means the world to me. Shout out to my 5 subscribers. They really are the reason why I'm here today, giving you this news, why I'm able to give you this news. And on this beautiful Monday morning, hopefully you're just kind of enjoying a slow wake up, or maybe you get a chance to have a nice cup of coffee in the morning with your family, or maybe you're just on your way to, maybe you're on your way to your mundane job and you're just trying to tune in and get your mind off of it and kind of zone out for this drive to work. You wanted to tune in and maybe get some current news stories that are going on in the great state of Texas. Well, today we're going to have a little bit of a different segment than normal. We're going to do crime news here in Texas. That's right, crime news. Going to tell you about how civilization in this great state is doing, specifically in Dallas, Texas today. I got a good chunk of stories. I'll read you off some of the titles of these articles, and maybe we'll get to them. Maybe we won't get to all of them, but we're definitely going to get to some of them. There's only so much chaos and crime that I can read about before I need to just take a break, a breather, go to my nap section, go to the napping room that I have set up in my house, so that way I can kind of just decompress after hearing about all this tragic, yucky crime, that yucky crime that's here in Dallas. But it's okay. We're going to get through this together, everybody. So sit back, relax, and I got it from here. Alrighty, I'm going to read you the 10 most recent crimes that have happened over this last weekend, so that way you're all caught up to date with the current happenings. We got a shootout with a robbery suspect. Officers in the Dallas Police Department go into a shootout with multiple suspects after getting a call about a robbery at a business in southern Dallas. I've got one story here about SWAT arrests local mom accused of torturing children. I covered that story a few days ago, actually. A local woman was taken into custody on child abuse charges after barricading herself inside of her attic of her home. Police search for a man who allegedly shot a door-to-door salesman. A door-to-door salesman was saved by his tablet after a homeowner allegedly tried to shoot him in the stomach. I'd love to see how technology saved this man. That's what we don't get a lot of. How often tech saves lives. Instead, we just get stories about how often tech hurts kids. And here I am on the other side of that, trying to be like, listen, sometimes a new tablet can save your life. Sometimes a Kindle can help protect you. I don't know how, but I guarantee this story will tell you how. And we'll dive into that. Texas teen allegedly shoots parents, killing father. A 17-year-old turned himself into the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office after a fatal shooting involving his parents. Texas-owned hotel being sued by sex trafficking victim. A Dallas teen who was sex trafficked in 2022 is suing an Oklahoma extended stay hotel and the Texas companies behind it. 20-year-old Dallas man who killed woman over basketball. A Dallas man who killed a woman after she beat him in a basketball game in 2022 will spend 20 years behind bars. I mean, at that point, if you allowed a woman to beat you out of sport, as a man, you really only have 2 options. You either kill yourself, which I'd never advocate for, don't. If you're going through a hard time, call somebody. Not me, don't call me, but call somebody. I'm sure you got somebody you can call. Call somebody. Please, definitely do not call me. Or, I guess you retaliate and you spend just 20 years behind bars.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Where I don't know the street cred for gunning down a woman after you've lost the basketball game, but I would assume after you've lost the basketball game, that cred would go much farther than your murder charge. On the streets I'm talking about, specifically in the streets, not in the businesses, streets. $150,000 reward for info on mail carrier robberies in Dallas. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service is offering up $150,000 for information about a recent string of armed robberies targeting its mail carriers in Dallas. Last but not least, 2 North Texas men sentenced for drug trafficking. 2 men were ordered to spend a combined 20 years in prison on charges stemming from drug trafficking in the Fort Worth area. Combined total of 20 years. What if you're the dude who rolled over on everybody? You get 1 year and your buddies get 19. He's like, dude, what the hell? What's going on? Can I get a different lawyer? All right. So the first thing we're going to go into, because I've already covered all the rest of this stuff, let's talk about this Texas teen who turned himself in after shooting his parents. Or maybe it's just his dad that got shot. Alrighty, a 17-year-old turned himself into the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office after a fatal shooting involving his parents. Sheriff's deputies discovered 2 gunshot victims after responding to reports of a shooting at a residence in the 9000 block of Waller Road near Conroe at around 9:20 p.m. on February 7th. Leroy Constantine Jr., 41, died at the scene while his wife, Ramika Constantine, was transported to a hospital with a bullet perilously close to her spinal cord. According to a GoFundMe campaign for the injured woman, their son, Travante Constantine, has been charged with the murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The suspect's sister, Brianna Constantine, allegedly witnessed the incident, which was also captured by surveillance cameras. My brother is not a bad person, she said, according to ABC 13. He just, likes to shoot my mom and dad. What's wrong with that? Doesn't make you a bad guy. I pay my taxes. I help old ladies cross the street. So what? Maybe I get a little trigger happy around the home sometimes. No big deal. Still a good guy. He has mental health issues. My mom and dad tried everything they possibly could with my brother, including laying down their physical well-being. They tried everything they possibly could with my brother. At a hearing on February 8th, it was explained that an argument had broken out between Travante and his parents after they found a firearm in his possession, according to KHOU. Despite Leroy Constantine having taken away the ammunition, the suspect allegedly had a single bullet stashed in his vehicle. Travante allegedly retrieved it, loaded it into his weapon, and fired at Leroy Constantine. The bullet passed through him and hit his wife in the neck. Leroy Constantine was described as a great husband, a great father, mentor, coach, peer, and friend, according to the GoFundMe, which had generated $1,400 of the $10,000 goal as of February 9th. Travante Constantine, who reportedly spent time in juvenile detention for a previous offense, maybe not the best father, is being held in Montgomery County Jail on a $250,000 bond while the case against him goes to grand jury. In Dallas, the murder rate increased by 15% in 2023, surpassing 2022 with 246 homicides, according to the city's crime analytics dashboard. The vast majority of these victims were black and Hispanic males. Efforts to lower crime have been hindered by a significant staffing shortage within the Dallas Police Department, which fields approximately 3,000 officers. Meanwhile, a city report previously recommended that Dallas required closer to 4,000 to ensure public safety. City leaders allotted DPD just $654 million this fiscal year. Far less will be budgeted for police in Dallas than in other high-crime municipalities, such as New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago. Well, both of those seem to be crumbling into a criminal landscape of sorts. But yeah, I guess justice isn't blind entirely, because even Stevie Wonder can see that if you're going to shoot your parents over them taking away your gun, I guess you should probably spend some time in prison. Maybe just a little bit. And maybe a GoFundMe page might not want to lie saying that the dad was super good and supportive if your kid kind of has some anger problems. I don't know. I'm just yelling into a microphone, so what do I know? What do I know? All right. We're going to turn to 2 North Texas men sentenced for drug trafficking. Let's take a gander at what these 2 Texas residents drug traffic. All righty. Jumping into it, 2 men were ordered to spend a combined 20 years in prison on charges stemming from drug trafficking in the Fort Worth area. The U.S. Attorney's Office, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Texas announced that 2 convicted drug traffickers, one of whom is a documented gang member, were recently sentenced to a significant jail time. Well, again, combined totals of 20 years. I can't necessarily say that's significant. Depends on what the drug trafficking charge was, in my personal opinion, But I also feel a little wary on some of these drug laws to begin with. Feel like if you're an adult, you should be allowed to choose what you want to do. As long as you're not going to hurt me, Just as long as you're a nice drug trafficker. Be a nice drug trafficker. Like maybe go and, with your drug trafficking money, go and build a couple of orphanages or a couple of schools, and then everybody kind of gets off your back a little bit, and then you can be a good drug trafficker. That's the problem with today's world. Too many of these professions, these good, stable careers, are just being ran by mean people, by bad guys, trying to, enslave and pimp out people. That's icky crime here in Texas. We need nice drug traffickers. On February 5th, U.S. District Judge Reed C. O'Connor sentenced Rance Guerin, 27, to 9 years in federal prison. 9 years, okay, not bad, which means his buddy got 11. Guerin was arrested on August 2nd, 2023, after the Johnson County Stop Special Crimes Unit learned that he had been selling fentanyl, a very potent and addictive opioid. Man, that fentanyl, man. Wild. Can't buy weed, but fentanyl is just legally dispersed out in the middle of everywhere and every painkiller that you get. How'd that make it through? I wonder. That's always the problem. That's an issue with a lot of the things where we complain about price increases about things. I'm more upset about the price of food at the grocery store, and it's filled with poison. We know that our food in the grocery stores are full of poison, but I complain more about the price of that poison instead of the fact that the poison is in there in the first place. If I just want to kill myself, let me do it for cheaper. If I want to ingest poison, let me do it for cheaper. That's all I'm asking. It's a little cheaper. Guerin was found with 425 grams of fentanyl, 3.9 kilograms of marijuana, 14.6 grams of cocaine, and 253.9 grams of psilocybin, also known as magic mushrooms. 3 firearms were also uncovered in the purported gang member's possession. Had some magic mushrooms. I like how it's also known as magic mushrooms. The gram of cocaine, nobody says also known as coke. They don't say 3.9 kilograms of marijuana, also known as pot. Whatever. If I ruled the world, if I get enough subscribers, I will rule the world. The defendant pled guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to possess a controlled substance with the intent to distribute in October of 2023. Guerin was one of the 4 suspects arrested on the murder charges in the fatal shooting of somebody Eubanks, 33, in Fort Worth in 2020. Only a 19-year-old Adrian Robinson was ultimately indicted on these charges. Man, drugs are illegal. Fentanyl. Fentanyl's killing so many people. That's really the big thing I see here is, 425 grams of fentanyl. You know how many people that's going to kill? Plenty. 3.9 kilograms of marijuana. Barely enough for it to even be mentioned. 14.6 grams of cocaine. And 253.9 grams of psilocybin. That's a pretty decent amount of mushrooms, actually. It's too bad that dude got picked up before he could before he could offload that stuff. The other convicted Fort Worth drug peddler, 39-year-old Willie Bryant, came to the attention of authorities in May 2023 thanks to a Crime Stoppers tip. Upon the execution of a warrant at Bryant's residence, they uncovered 24 grams of methamphetamine, 15 grams of black tar heroin, 51 fentanyl pills, 5 grams of cocaine, and 1.65 ounces of marijuana. He also had raw materials for making fentanyl, which Daniel Segura of Fort Worth police estimated as being enough for approximately 900,000 doses, according to NBC5 DFW. Well, that's definitely a drug dealer for sure. And a chemist. After he serves his time, 11 years in prison, can come out, get a good job for a pharmaceutical company, peddle legal poison and be just fine. Doesn't ever have to risk going into jail. You know? Just support the legal poison trade and you won't have issues like this. You're welcome for solving some of the crime problems here. All right, next we're going to go into the story about the guy who shot his girlfriend after he lost a basketball game. Again, lost a basketball game to a woman. Cameron Hogg, 32, lost basketball game to a woman. What was the score? See, how bad did he lose? Is that even mentioned in the article? No, of course not. Well, my producer's telling me to get to the details of the story, not to worry about the score. What? I think people with a competitive side to them want to know what the score of this game was. Whatever. A Dallas man who killed a woman after she beat him in a basketball game in 2022 will spend 20 years behind bars thanks to a recent plea deal. Cameron signed a plea deal with the Dallas County prosecutors ahead of his trial for the killing of 21-year-old Asia Womack on October 3rd, 2022. He pleaded guilty on Tuesday in exchange for a 20-year sentence, which the victim's family recently suggested was not nearly enough. It's a slap in the face because it's pretty much saying that Asia's life was only worth 20 years. That's basically what they're saying. Andrea Womack, Asia's mother, said according to Fox 4 KDFW. As previously covered in the Dallas Express, Asia had been friends with Hogg, with her mother saying at the time that she supported him while he was in jail and even referred to him as a brother. Maybe her trash talk was just too hot. You know, maybe she dropped an N-bomb in there or something like that. You know? We don't ever get to see that body cam footage. Let's see if he was just like, hey, congratulations. You know, you beat me fair and square. And she just started dropping hard N's and hard R's and just being the most obnoxious woman ever. And then he's just like, listen, I'm going to forgive those things. I'm not going to take them too seriously. I'm just going to relax. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Okay, good game. Should we maybe go get some ice cream or go enjoy something outside of here, you know, maybe go check out the KFC. And then she just kept on dropping hard N's, yay, would, and just kept on dropping those R's. And he's just, you know, maybe he gives another little chance of forgiveness. And then she insults his mother, and she's like, now you've gone too far. And he just shoots her. 20 years for that. We won't know. We'll never know. We'll never, ever know what really happened behind the scenes of this. All right. Let's see here. What's our last story we're gonna get to? Because I've covered quite a few of these already. A door-to-door salesman was shot. That's right. Police are looking now. A door-to-door salesman was saved by his tablet after a homeowner allegedly tried to shoot him in the stomach Thursday morning. Oh, good. It saved him by absorbing the bullet. Fort Worth police are looking for a man who pulled a gun on a Reliant salesman. What does that mean, Reliant? Like he was always there on the same time, every day. Really reliable, Reliant. Making his rounds in an East Fort Worth neighborhood on Thursday. The unnamed suspect, who lives in the 3100 block of Pernington Avenue, allegedly shot at the salesman after he knocked on the door to inquire about the homeowner's energy bills. The salesman's work tablet stopped the bullet from entering his stomach. He just came out and just straight pointed the barrel at me and then shot me and told me to get away from here. N-word. Man, there's so many N-words being dropped out here. The salesman said, according to NBC 5 DFW. This is the one thing I always fear, getting shot at the door. And today it happened, said the salesman, adding that he would have left his two daughters fatherless had he been killed. Reliant said in a statement that it was relieved the salesman was not hurt and is currently collaborating with the Fort Worth. Oh, I get it. Reliant is the name of the guy. Oh, okay. Avenue alleged salesman after knocking on the door, and now that makes so much more sense. Pulled a gun on Reliant salesman. Oh, okay. So Reliant's the name of the guy who got shot. Oh, Reliant is a company. Reliant said in a statement that it was relieved the salesman was not hurt. God, man, sometimes I just have the hardest time reading. Just because words are incessant and they never let up. You know, there's so many words on this page, and I'm just trying to like go through them all, and then I realize, man, I don't know enough words. We're in the process of learning more, but thankfully the sales agent was not harmed. The safety and security of the sales agent is our top priority, and we are working with local law enforcement on next steps. Well, you can't even be a salesman out here these days without worrying about getting, capped up. You don't want to have to go out there to try to go door-to-door sailing and, you didn't realize you got to pull up, walk out strapped. Just go up to the door with your gun pulled already. Sir, I'm here to sell you internet. Let me see your hands. God, man, what is this world coming to? But hey, this was the crime news for Dallas today. I think maybe before we'll just do a little caveat of what the weather for this beautiful Monday is going to be, because that's what my people want. They want to know that I'm actually on location in Dallas, not that I'm somewhere in India or Dubai where I make a lot more money trying to make this pod work. I'm not just trying to be that. I'm trying to be a one-stop show for everything: your entertainment, your weather, your news. I'm just trying to hit you with the trifecta that is Armando. Alrighty, and here's the weather so that way you guys know how to dress while you're out there. Today, on Monday, February 19th, 2024, you're looking at the high will be 53 and the low is expected to be somewhere around 37. Expected sunny skies, and at night, the skies will be mostly clear, but again, a little chilly, 37. Recommend you wearing a light jacket, and outdoors will be great, no need for an umbrella, and the wind chill will not make you want to kill yourself. Yeah, it'll be a good day on this Monday. While you're out there just trying that 9 to 5. It's a hell of a way to make a living, but we all got to do what we got to do. I appreciate you guys staying tuned, and here's to another successful episode of Mornings with Mando. I want you guys to stay safe out there, especially with the crime that we've got going on, that yucky crime. But like I said, stay safe and stay breezy.